Want to learn a great way to get students curious and excited about what you'll be studying? Try out the Anticipation Reaction Guide. The Anticipation Reaction Guide is a strategy that was developed by Frank Smith. The rationale is to set the stage for learning. It gets students excited about what they're going to learn about. It also serves as a formative assessment to diagnose what do students already know about the particular topic. It also connects to students' background knowledge and sets the purpose for learning in the unit. The Anticipation Reaction Guide is done twice during the unit, right at the beginning and right at the end. The first part, anticipation, is before students have engaged in a lot of learning about the particular topic. To prepare the Anticipation Reaction Guide, you'll have to start by listing out or developing some questions. There's a number of ways to do this. Start off with the process grid. What is the information at the heart of your unit? What is the essential understanding that you want students to take away? Build your questions around those topics and details. Use a variety of question formats so that students have the opportunity to answer different types of questions. True, false, multiple choice, make a sketch, fill in the blank, open-ended. Use all of these types of questions as a way to prepare students for the other types of assessments they're going to have to take in the future. When you write the questions, build in some questions that are interesting and exciting and really make students think. This will help to focus and motivate the students around the topic at hand. Hence why the Anticipation Reaction Guide is a part of focus and motivation. When writing questions for the Anticipation Reaction Guide, you can also add in a metacognitive piece where you ask students, why do you think so? Or where did you learn that particular piece of information? This can be especially beneficial in the reaction portion, where after students have learned about the particular topic, they're citing their source. Where did that information come from? Prove that it's correct. Tell me where you found it. This leads to students citing evidence and utilizing the materials around them, the information that they've learned to cite sources and prove their point. List the question and then create a space for the anticipation portion and for the reaction portion. This should be done on the same piece of paper. Hand out the Anticipation Reaction Guide at the beginning of the unit. When done at the beginning, the idea is to get the students thinking about the topic. Read the questions to them, one at a time, and provide them an opportunity to answer the question. The reason that we read the question to the students is we want to make sure it's an assessment of their content knowledge, of their experiences around the topic, what they know about the topic, or what they think the answer might be. If we give the paper to the students with the questions written on it, then if we're asking them to read them, it may become more of a reading assessment than an assessment of their knowledge. Once the students have answered the questions, we collect those papers and hold on to them until the end of the unit. Generally, we don't go over the answers because the answers will be revealed throughout the instructional process during the course of the unit. Let's watch the Anticipation Reaction Guide in action. This activity, as I mentioned, is called the Anticipation Reaction Guide. What you're going to notice is that there's a series of questions, and then there are two spots for you to answer. First, it says predicted response, and then it says after learning response. Right now, we're only going to answer the predicted response. Now, what I'm going to do is read each question and have you think about it and then answer. Don't run ahead, okay? We'll just do one at a time. Let's begin with number one. So your job first is to just listen, then you'll think and decide what your response is and mark in the predicted response section. Number one, who was an important individual who founded Pennsylvania? A, Roger Williams, B, Sam Adams, C, William Penn, or D, John Winthrop? Think to yourself. If you're not sure, make a prediction. What do you think? Which one do you think it might be? Take a moment, mark down your response in the predicted response section. Okay, looks like everyone has responded. Let's go to number two. Match the colony with the colonial region. So in this one, you're going to draw a line from this list, New England colony, Middle colony, and Southern colony, to the colony, the state that matches it, okay? Either Virginia, Massachusetts, or Delaware. Make your predictions now in the predicted response section. Let's move on to number three. Describe the conflict that existed between the Native Americans and European settlers. Now, it says here describe, but I want to invite you, if you're not sure, you can also make a sketch, okay, to help. A quick drawing, a quick sketch that illustrates what you think the conflict was that existed between these two groups. If you're unsure, make a prediction. Remember, this is just an anticipation and prediction. Very good. For those of you adding sketches, you can also add a word or two or a short phrase if you would like to help point out what your sketch represents. Okay, let's move on to number 4. It's okay if you didn't quite complete that one. True or false? The Trail of Tears is when Native Americans were forced to relocate. Is that true or is that false? Write your response in the predicted response section. Number 5, which of the following was known as New England? A, the Middle Colonies, B, the Southern Colonies, C, the Northern Colonies, or D, the overthrow of the king in England? Mark your response in the predicted response section, please. Tell your partners at your tables, how did it go with the anticipation reaction guide? Did you feel like, oh, I already know a bunch of these answers? Or was it, wait, what? What did you feel like you knew some of these responses on the anticipation reaction guide? Or did you not know any of them? Just have a quick chat at your tables, please. Go ahead. At the end of the unit, hand the anticipation reaction guide back to the students. Again, read the questions to them, have them look at what their response was in the anticipation portion to see how their learning has changed over the course of that unit. And have them decide, are they going to keep the answer that they had? Or do they need to modify it or adjust it in some way? Perhaps they have to change their answer completely based on what they've learned throughout the unit. This strategy is a fantastic way for students to see, what did I know at the beginning of the unit and what do I know now after having learned about this particular topic?